So hi, hello to all. This is us, Perry and Elvira. And besides working and creating our own companies and working for a big multinational organization like Hungarian Telekom myself, we also do lots of other stuff. And I thought that maybe we start our presentation with the question, why on earth are we doing this together, Perry?
Yeah, I mean, this really is a festival. I mean, look at these guys on beanbags here. So this is bringing the world of music into HR. Yeah, so we met at an event and we kept in touch, and the philosophies that we have are pretty similar. So we've long wanted to share a stage, and we've long wanted to share some of the philosophies we have about how you design the future of work. So yeah, we're really pleased to be here.
So as you can see, it's not just the logos that are matching behind the EODF and the World Blue thingy, but we also share kind of lots of values and interests together. And kind of maybe just to give you an example that from that conference where we've met and we were speakers speaking one after the other and having that feeling of, wow, are we talking about the same thing? How did we get to this stage together? It's just talking, meeting on different conferences, bumping into each other, following each other on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then having the opportunity to speak together is kind of like, wow, the culmination of this. And we actually managed to have a 15-minute Skype call when we prepared for this presentation, which, as you can hear, is probably as much preparation as delivery time. And we really kind of had it. So,
as you
here we
can
are.
tell, we're millennials. Right, we invented the millennial, didn't we? We're unwired,
I'm not sure, but
connected.
we tried to live it, kind of.
Yeah. Cool.
So, what are we going to talk to you about, or what is our plan? Our plan is that we should give some insights about how to design the future of work. And when we are talking about this, we thought, oh, well, which example should we bring in? But then we kind of thought maybe it's best if we deliver the bad message right at the beginning and some better messages later in the presentation. The bad news is everybody's talking about the future of organizations. So many people are looking for it. What is it? How is it going to look like? Is it something like the Matrix was decades ago? Something that you can try to take off the shelf and implement in your organization, whether it fits or not into its strategy and purpose. The bad news is, no, there's nothing on a shelf, or there are so many different things on that shelf, but it's not labeled that it's the perfect one for your organization. The bad news is you really have to work it out for yourself. And this is what we would like to talk about, how to work it out for yourself, how to paint on that blank canvas, or many times the canvas is not blank, but how to see with a different eye that picture you already have so that it leads you into the future that you dream for yourself and for your own organization. So we're going to go and tap into things that are behind, which are the principles, and how to implement those principles, so how to make this tangible.
And there's two good bits of news, really. So Elvira's dropped you down. It's my job to lift you back up again. There's two big things I want to share with you. One is the future of work is most definitely human. Do not believe all the hype you hear about robots stealing your jobs. You do not need to become a robotic hacker. The other thing is a lot of the clues are already there. So this is an organisation that I work with called World Blue, worldblue.com without the E. And its philosophy is freedom at work. Its philosophy is democratic workplaces. And these are the principles which it sticks to its guns to. There are 10, so here's the first 5. Very quickly, I want to give you some examples of how you design this in your own workplaces. So you can go away from today and start a quiet revolution in your workplace. The first one is purpose and vision. And lots of people will talk about the purpose motive, and lots of people will say, we have a good purpose and we have a good vision statement. And lots of companies have that and still do bad things to the world and to their people. I want to share with you one vision from a company called Menlo Innovations based in Michigan in the United States. Their mission is to end human suffering as it relates to technology. They do not want bad things to happen when you use technology. So that's their vision. And the people who work there are obsessed with quality. They have closed the gap between error and error detection to almost a nanosecond. So that vision and that purpose can drive brilliant things. The other value on there is transparency, and there's a chocolatier in New York who has an open book management policy. So anybody, from the cleaner through to the accountant, can look at the books and see how much money is coming in and out of a company at any point in time. What that creates is that it's my company, these are my assets, and if we're struggling, I need to find a way to get us out of the hole. We have fairness and dignity. So there's a technology company in Wisconsin in the US who has two amazing things. They employ 5 people from the community with learning disabilities to do worthwhile jobs. So there is somebody called the popcorn maker who will make popcorn and deliver it to people's desks when they're getting a bit stressed out, when they need to sort of get some thinking going, and that greases the wheels of success and progress. They also have an approach where if you have a project and you want to take it on, you go and build that project, and if it becomes your job, that's what you do. So they have an entrepreneurial spirit inside the company. The other 5, individual and collective choice, integrity, decentralization. Software companies are famous for scrums and stand-ups and so on, but in Nearsoft in Mexico City, they've taken it to the nth degree. You would never know who the CEO is because they mingle amongst the rest of the crew. They are completely decentralized in all the decisions they make about clients they work with, software they produce. They're a completely self-organized unit, protecting actively how their people are involved. So these 10 principles can start to build a design framework which will do 2 things. One, it will frighten people who are stuck in conventional mode, but most importantly, it will empower and power up people who want to make the difference in their workplace. So if anybody tells you self-organized is chaos, they're just trying to build a smokescreen around it. These 10 principles have driven several companies on the World Blue List, if you want to go on to the next one. These are the companies that during the Great Recession between 2008 and 2011 not only outperformed their S&P 500 counterparts, they absolutely smashed it. So during that period of time, S&P 500 companies at their best experienced 15% growth. These companies during that downtime experienced 103% growth. These are companies where the human factor and the design principles turn into economic viability. So it isn't just nice, it's powerful in all regards. And Elvira, you've got a lovely human example to share on top of these enterprises, haven't you?
Indeed, because, I mean, we could say, wow, these principles, they look really fabulous. I mean, don't we have on so many companies kind of website that these are our guiding principles or principles we live by, but do we really implement them? And I think, as we always say in Hungarian, the devil lies really in the details. It really lies in the details. Do you use these principles when you are designing your organization? Is your structure, are your processes, is your reward system reflecting these principles? Or they just stay in the cloud? And the really good news is that we have so many great examples in Hungary also. So it's not just those American companies, you know, but here as well. And when I was thinking about how we can make it really bring it to you on the table, I thought, hey, there is this great example so many people participated in, so maybe it's one of the best examples to have a look at it. How many of you have heard of Migration Aid? Come on, lift your hand. Yeah? See? So many of you. You know, there was a need, there was a very, very clear purpose, very clearly formulated. There are these people coming from the border who have been registered, they don't speak Hungarian, they need to get to a camp. What do they need? Very clear need. Directions, food and water, change of clothes. This is what Migration Aid started to be organized around. The purpose was very clear. People could sign up to it. I guess there are people in the room also who signed up to it, so you experienced it. There was all what was needed, clear vision, clear boundaries, and a good platform, which Facebook was perfect for. People could organize themselves. They were roles, but roles not assigned to people. Any given day you could decide what could be your best contribution, given of your own resources, and given the needs that you could constantly check up on the Facebook, how many people are coming, what is most needed, where are you most needed. We are adults, we can decide that for ourselves. And there was even scaling in the story, because as the need got bigger, more and more people signed up to it. And there were even subgroups on Facebook. You could decide which subgroup you want to join, and then you could be active there. And when the need for changing circumstances disappeared, the group got dissolved. There's another group with another purpose grew out of it, but that's your own choice whether you want to sign up to that or not and go and help on the international field. And why I think this is such an important example, because around 6,000 people were actively following what was happening, and about 3,000 people participate in it. This means even if just once you participated, you have the experience that this works. And I'll tell you, it wasn't just our generation. My mom's generation was there at the train station too. So they were all in it. So what can we learn from this example? You need a very good purpose, a clear purpose, clearly communicating it, and it needs to be moving so you don't have to invest into recruitment. Then, once you have your principles right, you gotta stick to them. And there might be other things, greater ideas, stick to the principles and implement them into every single little detail. I'll tell you just one more tiny example about the devil lies in the details story. I just had this great conversation with a friend of mine. He's setting up an international, borderless, professional community. And during the discussion, he realized, shit, I'm still sending out newsletters on MailChimp. Great for checking how many people opened it. But can people react to it? Can they see each other's reaction? Can they get into a conversation? Now, if you're building a community, he probably got to find a different platform how to communicate with his people, yeah? Clear and simple.
So I think what that says is that when you line up human endeavour with a brilliant purpose and a mission, great things happen. However, in HR, we're often famous for creating a policy about how you create policies. So we're not used to working in that loose way. However, these are, I think, are 4 key principles to take away for you as an HR professional to start working your capability and your competence up on. The first one is organisation design. And as Elvira's just outlined, you only need enough. Don't over-design it, don't over-engineer it, just enough that gets people aware of why they get into work and make a difference. And then look at the sciences like behavioural prediction. So understand how we make our choices as human beings, and you will get human beings working more effectively when you're working with the flow of their energy and their interests and their skill. And match that skill to what you need. Don't just build a job description. Think, what's this beautiful person capable of doing, and let them loose to do it. And make sure you're part of a hugely powerful network, as Elvira's just described. We under-leverage the networks we have. Let's really, really crank up HR's reputation as a networked enabling function.
Just to scare you.
Busy slide. Just a couple of things I want to point out. This is by a guy called Tom Hark from the Netherlands, who's brilliantly described trends in the job. I just want to show you that the HR advisor role is starting to go down. If you're in that role, you need to reinvent yourself now. And then you've got things like data analytics and performance consultant and an HR scrum master coming into play now. So make friends with your technologists. Look at those people that work in agile, entrepreneurial ways, because that's where the design is just enough. And I think that's the message I want to leave you with. Design just enough.
And the future of HR is building the future organizations. So start reinvent yourself.
Thank you.